Failed with major repairs. Technical repair report for bidding. Restoration with permit by a fully licensed vendor. Engineer oversight. 3 site visits. Certification with owner liability in lieu of a load test. Load test still may be required by the AHJ.
Engineers, 866-649-0333. This is the inspector's summary video. This is a pre-existing non-conforming structure. It appears to be built before 1978, therefore it has lead. There will be no welding. You will need an EPA renovator's license. This is a pass-fail video. This is a pre-load test evaluation. This structure must be structurally sound and painted. Okay, we're about to start our video, and the first thing we have is, I'm going to focus in on, is the ladder to the roof. Rungs pop through it. Up at the gooseneck area, the whole ladder needs painting, and the rungs do pop through. Kind of have this narrow passage here, and we have different cages that normally, I'm just gonna, the sun's so intense, normally what we have here is this particular piece right here would be down. This becomes a trip hazard when you flip the double angle up. Normally that would be down. It creates a trip hazard, and there's a few of them on this platform. We're on the 3rd floor. So I'm just gradually coming up here. The platforms consist of 2-inch by 2-inch angle for the cage. Then you've got an 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch top rail that's welded together over here, and then you have a balustrade that looks like it's a 1/2 inch square solid. I'm just going to get a shot from up top here so you can see the counterweights for the ladder system. They need some work. It appears to be sagging, and the ladder there's a couple problems with the ladder, will become evident later, but the ladder appears to drop right in the middle of an egress door, and when you're going down it, you barely can get your feet into it. There's barely any foot room on it. It's right against the building, and it's really hard to keep your feet in. That should be out so you can get your feet into it. And the condition of this is in poor condition. Need new ropes. The weights themselves need to be addressed. All of them need to be investigated further. And then we'll move on. We got the platform. That's typical what I described. The slats are 1.5 inches. What you have on this particular platform, you have 3 columns that come down, and then in addition to that, you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have like 9 brackets that come across, and so I guess the columns were an afterthought. I don't know the order of how this was constructed, but again, you have this problem here with the supports being flipped up. That's definitely a trip hazard. And then you have your bracket out here, and as we go down, it'll be easier to see the whole support structure. Just give you a shot, zoom in and zoom out quickly so you can see the columns that come down. Columns appear to be 2.5 by 2.5 square tubes, and then I almost tripped on that. And then the stairs themselves it's 2 angles on each end of the treads, and then you've got an inch slat, 2 slats in the middle. All of these treads are welded to the stringer. The stringer appears to be a 4-inch by 3-inch flat, and then you got the old handles. The handles appear to be 3/4 inch in diameter, and then you got a flat that's bent around the rails themselves. It's a single rail, and the intermediary support is a flat, appears to be 1 inch by 3/8, and that's bent around the rail itself. So we're going to take a better look at the connection over here. Let me come down the stairs. First, you'll see there's a lot of rust and rust jacking at these connections. I'll just, you can see over here, this is the hook that comes from the stringer. It comes across, but in here you can see rust and rust jacking. And then at each tread, you can see this bubbling. The sun's so intense it's kind of hard to see, but there's bubbling in here, and that means we have rust and rust jacking at the connection. It'll be a little clearer over here. Hard to say, but again, the sun's very intense. So we do have rust and rust jacking, and that is causing distress. And everything is welded. This should be all bolted. We have 11 treads on this stringer before we descend to the next platform. So this is all typical. Everything's welded. You have evidence of rust and rust jacking at the connection, and we'll come around here to look at this platform. This platform here is the same configuration as the other platform above, but you can see this 2.5 by 2.5 inch column that goes into a pitch pocket. Again, this is a pass-fail video, so we're just trying to get a shot here. You can see it needs a lot of painting, and there's barely a weld there. That gives you a little better view. So nothing much is holding this together. You need a bolted connection. You can see the paint peeling here. This hasn't been painted in a long time. And then there's been a repair up in here. It's all rusted out, but you can see where the bolts are. That's definitely needs further investigation. Okay, and then we're going to continue down here, and all of this platform is suspect. It's rusting and rust jacking. It's starting to pop up. You can see on this connection here where the ladder is, we actually have a hole right through it right here. So it definitely is completely deteriorated at the ladder. And again, this is so close. You'll see when I go down, I'm going to have to stop the video in a few seconds. You'll see how bad the situation is there. And again, there's extensive, on this platform, you've got parts of the, you can see right here, it's actually rusted through. So, the angles for this platform, the cage itself is all suspect, very deteriorated. You got delamination. Here you got kind of a crazy connection. The overlap is a trip hazard here. You can see here, it's definitely a trip hazard. And then This particular platform is definitely, you can see here, it's a combination. Some of it's connected to this column, some of it's rusted out. They must have abandoned that support, and the same thing with this support. And what they did was they brought these legs down all along here, and those legs now support that that angle that forms the cage for the platform itself. But let me come over here. And you can see right here, you got rust and rust jacking. You got all kinds of problems here. Okay, I'm going to stop this video and we're going to go downstairs and then I'll show you the different obstructions. Okay, we're continuing the video and you can see this ladder falls right in the middle of the door, which appears to be a means of egress for this building. It's really not in a great location. First of all, when it comes down, if somebody opens the door, you can hit them in the head with the ladder. And then if it's in position, they can't get the door open. The ladder is super close to the wall. There's some places it rattles all over the place. And it pinches your fingers. And your feet, when you're coming down, barely can stay on the rung. So that's needs further investigation. And again, this whole support for the counterweights needs further investigation. Okay, this concludes the summary video.
Load test still may be required by the AHJ. Failed with major repairs. Technical repair report for bidding. Restoration with permit by a fully licensed vendor. Engineer oversight. 3 site visits. Certification with owner liability in lieu of a load test. Fire escape issues. Photos represent what the violations are, not where they are or how many exist. Pass-fail inspection, not technical repair report. Please call us with any questions. Thank you.